guys, my phone's been going off from all over, friends all over the East Coast. I have to tell you first, though, right before this earthquake happened, I was getting a cavity filled. So bear with me here. The left side of my face is still numb, but rushed back into work and all that traffic on Interstate 66, still backed up. Took me about an hour to get here to our station in Roslyn. Like I said before, my phone was going off, not ringing because everybody's phone calls weren't coming through, but I got a lot of text message from Ohio, from North Carolina on the beaches of the Outer Banks, someone laying out saying, was that really an earthquake? Down in South Carolina, another person on the Jersey Shore texted me, one of our coworkers, saying, was that really what I thought it was? Another person in Pennsylvania. So this obviously felt up and down the East Coast, people wondering, was it really happening? Allison, we're hearing all the people that were involved, all three people knew each other, that there was some big argument earlier this morning, maybe even late last night. We're also hearing that two of the people that were stabbed, a man and a woman, were in some sort of relationship, maybe a boyfriend and girlfriend, who lived in this third-floor apartment. Nick Parisi lives just 2 floors under where his 49-year-old neighbor was stabbed to death. That's really close.
It is.
Being a part of the neighborhood watch group, Parisi keeps track of who comes and goes in the Eldon's apartment complex on Braddock Springs Road in Centerville. Parisi says he gets up every weekday morning at 3 a.m.
I hear the same truck start at 5:30, but today I hear one started at 5 after 5. That's strange to me. Then the one at 5:30 that goes to work every day, he went out at 5:30.
Police say 2 others were also stabbed, a 52-year-old woman and a 53-year-old man. The woman was found bleeding outside of this third-floor apartment.
We just moved here too, so we heard that this is a safe neighborhood, stuff like that, and then if something like this could happen, then it makes you think twice about it.
This is the 5th murder in Fairfax County this year. There have been break-ins in the past, but nothing this violent has happened in this complex that is coming in children.
But since we've been walking around for about 2 years now, nothing been happened. This is the worst I've seen so far.
Now, at this point, police aren't telling us who these people are or were, still trying to talk to family members to explain to them and even let them know what has happened here at this apartment complex. Right now, there's 2 people, the man, the woman that I just mentioned, who survived the stabbing, are still in the hospital, police say with life-threatening injuries. People living out in this neighborhood here in Rockville have had it rough. Since the storm hit, they've been without power since late Saturday night. Now, at last check, Pepco officials told them they might get their power back on sometime at the end of the week. But this is the part that's frustrating for a lot of people that live out here. All day long, they've been seeing Pepco trucks come throughout their neighborhood. And right now, there's 2 trucks over there, and they've been parked all afternoon. Power lines are down on the ground. Some are tangled and hanging low. Strong winds from Hurricane Irene brought them down. Neighbors say starting a fire on Great Oak Road in Rockville.
We pretty much know that if there's a big storm with high winds that someone's going to be out.
Power went out 1 a.m. Sunday. Monica Alston is getting by with a generator, trying to save her food in the refrigerator.
It's like camping out. You have your lanterns, and you cook, you grill what you can.
We got some dry ice at Harris Teeter, and but they were pretty much sold out. So I'm pretty much done. I think everything else will be tossed by this afternoon.
Today was also back to school for Jennifer Hughes' kids. Large trees on the streets made it difficult for bus drivers to pick up children.
It was hard for the buses to get through this morning because we still have three or four down trees in the neighborhood.
Neighbors say Pepco usually helps take care of downed trees after a storm, but not this time.
I don't understand, because if you go out the road here across the street, everything's fine. There's power everywhere. It's like we're a little an oasis of no power amongst everyone else having power.
I talked to Pepco this afternoon. They said they're doing the best they can. Crews are working 24/7. They hope power will be restored for everyone who lost their power by Thursday night. Well, Allison, at first Glenn Neff lied to police, telling them he was on his way to Philadelphia to celebrate a friend's birthday and surprise that friend with an extravagant fireworks display. They also found a notebook in his car highlighted with a to-do list.
27-year-old Glenn Neff apparently had his plan all mapped out. In a 60-page manifesto, police found inside his Jeep at Cabin John Regional Park in Bethesda yesterday.
That's crazy.
Court charging documents say Neff left Florida, bought fireworks in South Carolina, then rented a private cabin in the Shenandoah Valley. There, he built a rack to set off his fireworks. Then Neff got a hotel in Fairfax. He stayed there for several nights, testing out his devices. Finally, Neff was arrested in Bethesda.
If you want people to know what you want to do in life, there are other ways of doing it.
I think that's sad. It sounds like he has mental issues.
Bomb technicians found numerous materials they say are consistent with components of improvised explosive devices, better known as IEDs, like a voltmeter, PVC pipe, electrical wires, a modified video game controller, various mortars, Roman candles, and cakes. Neff's master plan was to get publicity for something he called his invention to save the world. He told investigators he planned to, quote, fire off the devices in order to be arrested. With that media attention, he would be able to explain his dual transit system.
I think that people are extremely frustrated, and a lot of people are going to extreme measures to kind of show their frustration with all kinds of things. And he was just an extremist in that regard.
In court today, Neff's invention was described as an idea for a new system of mass transportation. Meantime, Neff is still in jail behind bars, being held on a $2 million bond. It is another long day. Pepco workers are out here behind me now working, but it took a lot to get them here. Neighbors have been without power since Saturday night, early Saturday night. And one neighbor said she called Pepco today and they told her they didn't have a report of her outing her entire block. So one neighbor decided to do something.
It's a pain in the neck.
Call it clever or more like an act of desperation.
Whatever, if it works, it works. It got their attention, so.
People who live in Wesley Heights made these street signs guiding Pepco workers to their homes to restore power.
Yeah, nothing yet, still.
Chuck Holsworth has to keep his food in this cooler so it won't go bad.
This is my refrigerator, and the back one is my freezer. You know, my food and milk and stuff and ice. I get ice twice a day.
Here's the problem. This large tree fell on these power lines. Since Saturday, this tree has been dangling above the street. In St. Mary's County, Maryland, damage from the storm is extensive. Hundreds of huge trees came down, some on houses. 3 homes have been condemned on one street. It's so bad that Governor Martin O'Malley stopped by.
Right now, we don't know if they're going to be able to repair it.
Back in D.C., neighbors are sharing this extension cord on Dexter Street.
It was literally right at the split. We have power here, and right next door they don't.
The work continues out here in Northwest D.C. You see the Pepco workers here. They've removed that tree that we just showed you that was dangling above the street for the last couple of days. Now the hard work comes in. They actually have to fix these power lines. They're hoping to have power back on for these 30 people that live on this one street sometime tonight.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 2 here. We're talking 60s glam, and this is the cover of a magazine with Kristen Stewart from all of her vampire hotness. It doesn't even look like her.
I did a double take with this one. I was stunned. I couldn't talk. I had to whip that magazine open and see who that was. It's Kristen Stewart. I love the big hair. I love the eyes, very dark and mysterious. I love the lips being very pale.
Yes. All right, number 3, feather extensions, which I'm seeing a lot on people, and they're easy to kind of just put back here, you know, if you can't wear them to work. But they're cute.
Yeah, I brought a couple pictures of a couple different examples. They get a little crazy with it, but I actually love it. It could be subtle. It could be very exposed.
Yeah, I see them all over people. People you wouldn't think would have them. You know what I mean, right?
I actually sold an 80-year-old client on a lavender feather.
What?
She wanted to be the cool grandma when she got off the plane in Seattle, so I said, I got the thing for you. She got a purple feather, and she was off.
Her grandkids must have been like, Grandma!
They're gonna love it.
How long was her hair?
She was like a bob. We can cut them to be whatever length you want. We have long ones, we have short ones. They're fantastic.
I love it. She's in style. Hit Grandma.